Hello guys and gals, and this is another Vlog Friday. This should be number 24. Um, and the first thing we're going to talk about, before we talk about the topics we always talk about, is going to be self-esteem. Um, really, it's easy to lose your self-esteem, either basically by your own internal conflicts and also by the comments or the views of others. Um, Sometimes it's just too easy. Um, the tongue can do one of two things. It can either build people up or tear people down. And when a force as destructive as the tongue is used to destroy people, it can really ruin their self-esteem. And so, yeah, there's always a lot of power in the tongue. The power to basically to heal or to destroy. Um, the same thing can be said of words, even if they aren't spoken. Words in themselves are powerful. And so it's always wise to think carefully before actually writing or saying anything. Um, Self-esteem can be a very fragile or delicate thing. And it can be difficult to basically cope with life if basically you think your life is garbage, which basically usually is a lie. It's easy to be one's own worst critic. Um, and so, yeah, it's easy to slip into depression. But one of the ways to cope with basically the symptoms of depression or depression-based things is to do something that you enjoy at least once a day. Make sure that's something legal. I always have to put in that little tidbit there. But you also have to make sure that it is within your dietary wheelhouse, that you're not endangering your health. Like, if you're diabetic, you don't want to be chowing down on sugar. And if you're, like, I believe it's celiacs that can't have gluten. You shouldn't be eating gluten if you have celiacs or your body reacts violently to it. You also shouldn't eat anything that you're allergic to. Those are just kind of some common sense things, but things that I do have to add in. Um, Sometimes treating yourself can make yourself feel better, whether it's watching an old movie you like or a new movie you like. Just a way to treat yourself to something nice. It doesn't necessarily have to be food or anything, but anyways, just pamper yourself at least one way. And by pamper, I mean treat yourself, not do the whole diaper thing, which I guess is a thing. I'm not sure. Two is there's always someone who cares, and this is really probably one of the most important points on this list. And I go over it every time because it's so important. It's easy to think or believe that no one out there cares. And there is a comic I saw. I'm gonna have to ask the artist permission though to actually use it in a vlog. So I might use it in a vlog next week if I get permission. Um, and it was really a powerful comic. So I do want to make sure and get that permission, and so that I can use it next time. But it basically was this point right here. There's always someone who cares. Because you can be feeling down and thinking that no one cares, and that can really make your mood a lot worse. Um, and that's just kind of the sad thing also about the society today, because you can basically have millions and millions of followers on a social platform, and you can still feel alone and like nobody cares. And and that's basically a lie, because you'll always find someone who cares. It's just a matter of looking and believing. Number three is also important. If you're suffering from an affliction, there's no shame in seeking help, and that there are some mental conditions that you basically have to have medication in order to cope with. And that's just something natural. I mean, people are born the way they are, and sometimes they just need a little extra help coping. And there's nothing wrong with taking legally prescribed drugs for like paranoid schizophrenia, bipolar. It used to be called manic depression, um, and a bunch of other stuff like that. It's just basically like putting antibiotics on an open wound or peroxide because it cleans all the junk out of it and helps it to heal properly. But I do admire people that can actually handle their depression without medication or stuff like that because that's really a big undertaking, and I really admire that. But there's just no need to basically feel that way if you don't have to when there's medicine to basically make a person feel better. But I do admire people who can do that because I know there's a lot of people who can't. No matter how bad things get, there's always hope. This is again holding on to hope and positivity, which is basically what you have to do, especially in uncertain times. Um, and sometimes things can seem really bad, or it can seem like the end of the world. And yeah, everyone has those times when it can feel like the end of the world and there's no way out, and you don't want to take the bad way out. You want to take the good way. You want to endure and live on because there's always hope, and there's always hope for deliverance. Actually, it's just a matter of sometimes it's a matter of waiting, and that waiting can be excruciating. But yeah, you should always hold on to your hope because there's a difference between happiness and joy. Happiness is situational, and joy is basically something deeper, a deeper hope that things will get better. And it really isn't based on situation, but happiness is. That's really important to remember. Number five is that societal tags and labels are pointless. People are people, and this is mainly accepting people for who they are. And people are unique. I mean, we aren't all clones of one another. We aren't all Dolly the sheep, which was, I think, the first successfully cloned animal, I believe. I don't know. But anyways, we're all unique, and tagging someone with a societal tag, even if it's true, is still kind of, I don't know. I've always maybe not found that tags like that offensive, but there are better uses than just putting someone into a box that they might not actually fit into. Um, Putting tags on someone, assigning someone a tag or a societal label, also basically um, imposes on them possibly untrue information. Just because somebody dresses a certain way or something like that doesn't mean that they are a certain way. An example would be, oh no, you're gonna make me come up with an example here. Okay. Which completely derailed my train of thought. One thing would be I'm going to use, okay, certain religions dress certain ways. And just because somebody dresses a certain way, they might not be part of that certain religion. I know that at least in my denomination, there were people who would wear prayer coverings. And you never really saw that outside of, Christianity or whatever. But some people might wear them maybe as a fashion statement. Again, that isn't a very good example. I'm sorry. Okay, one thing would be, let's just pretend that last example didn't happen because it was kind of lame. Anyways, one example would be I guess, I'll say an earring. If somebody who is male wore an earring, that used to mean that they were gay. It doesn't necessarily mean that now, I don't think, but it might put them into that category, and they might not be. So basically, and there are some people who wouldn't mind being called that. I mean, I know that in the furry fandom there are people who actually like being called fur fags, but still, societal tags are just something that I don't really ascribe to because it kind of prescribes upon them maybe needless persecution. Number 6 is be yourself. There'll never be another you, and this again falls back to individuality. It's important to be who you are, and that's why I encourage people to make their own YouTube content. I mean, I can keep putting out videos, and maybe what you put out would be way different than what I put out. So it's always important to get every more content out there because everyone is unique. Everyone has different views of the world, and it's just good to get all of those views out there. Um, and also the people who are really popular on YouTube. I mean, the ones that have millions and millions and millions and upon billions of subscribers got there because they were themselves. They weren't trying to clone anyone else. They weren't trying to clone anybody else's content. They were just basically they did their own thing, and people realized that, and they became famous that way. So, yeah, you don't want to be the clone of somebody else. You just need to be you, and people will accept you for who you are. And number 7 is always think positive thoughts, which again, I'm always trying to generate positivity through these vlogs. And it can help to take a positive view of things and even of the world. And I'm not saying something like, oh, someone who says, oh, I'm positive this is going to be a bad day, um, in a sarcastic tone. You basically have to genuinely have positive thoughts. And it can basically make the day go faster and maybe even improve your mood a little bit. Again, this is more of a placebo thing, except that it like actually works. So, well, I mean, the placebo effect does work to a certain extent, but to this actually does have the potential to make somebody feel better. Positivity, well, negativity has a very bad effect. I was going to say influence, but effect. Negativity has a very bad effect on the body. It can actually cause sickness, stress, and illness. And positivity can help reverse some of that. And again, it isn't easy. Again, talking about the difference between happiness and joy. A lot of people living in happiness, living by the moment. And if their situation isn't the best or they're having a bad day, then that happiness might not be there. But joy usually survives through all of that, even during bad situations like rainy days and stuff like that. But anyways, so yeah, positive thinking is very powerful. I think there's a book called The Power of Positive Thinking, and there's an entire library probably of the benefits of positive thinking. So it is worth thinking about and might actually make your day a little bit better. As I hope that this vlog has, I always try to spread a little positivity out there in amongst all that negative energy. That was interesting. You probably didn't hear that on what I just heard, but it sounded like, I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to end the video here. If you like this content and if it helped you at all, then make sure you like and subscribe and ring the bell so you know when I upload. And if you want to support me in any way, all that information will be in the description below. As always, thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.